Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth their time and bandwidth. Today's game is Super Mario RPG, the remake. Once caught in Wright's hell for almost 3 decades, Mario RPG is back. Does the remake do enough to merit its existence? Let's find out. Super Mario RPG is a full-on remake of the original '96 game, which was a collaboration between Square Enix and Nintendo during the twilight years of the SNES. And I already did a full retro review of that game a few months ago, check it out here. So for this, let's dive in and see what's new and what's the same. The story is identical to the original game, where a bunch of weapons from another dimension, led by Smithy, attempt to invade Mario's world, and in so doing break the Star Road into 7 star pieces. Mario, Peach, and Bowser team up with newcomers Geno and Mallow to beat Smithy, recover the star pieces, and save wishes. I was a little worried that the story, and particularly its humor, wouldn't translate well if remade, but I'm pleased to say it all works great. The creators were very faithful to the humor, all the way down to the anime fall-on-your-face gag that was prevalent in the 90s, with my only massive nitpick being the larger text boxes sometimes mess up the comedic timing. Mechanically, there's been a lot of quality of life changes. This is still a turn-based RPG where you'll need to time a button press when attacking or being attacked to do or negate bonus damage, but the game now gives you a prompt the first few times you try, making it much easier to learn the timing. Perfect attacks now splash to other enemies, meaning larger groups are more defeatable if you don't have Mallow out, and these all contribute to a chain meter that gives team-wide buffs the higher it goes. You can also have combined attacks, a meter that raises if you land or block hits, and at 100 you unleash a super big move depending on who's in your party. There's been a handful of other changes as well. The game auto-saves on every screen, though you can still use the save points. Inventory management now has individual item limits rather than an overall storage limit, meaning you can hold a lot more stuff, and you can swap characters in and out of the party during battles at any time. It makes the game feel much more modern considering its turn-based system is fairly simple. The game also occasionally spawns special enemies that have more health and damage, and drop frog coins when killed, which helps mitigate that grind a lot. The game still takes you to a plethora of creative and visually gorgeous locations, now even more pretty thanks to the fantastic remastering of all the game's screens. The adventure is breakneck in its pacing, meaning you'll be engrossed throughout its somewhat short 9 to 12 hour story. The last edition is a post-game where you rematch bosses including the infamous Super Boss Kulix, giving veterans a fun new challenge. And that's basically Super Mario RPG, an extremely faithful remake with lots of quality improvements, while still maintaining the charm and humor that made the original so beloved. So what did I like about Super Mario RPG Remake? Well, this is a faithful remake through and through, maintaining the game's fantastic humor, music, and story, and really evoking the feelings I got when playing the game for the first time at a friend's house on their Super Nintendo. Additionally, the quality of life improvements are fantastic, particularly how the game teaches you timed hits, and archaic things like removing the item limit allow for a lot more strategy. And lastly, the game really looks great. It was a good one to remake since the original was all pre-rendered 3D sprites anyway, but the transition is nearly flawless here, with the diorama-esque levels popping gorgeously in their full HD. When it comes to the bad, frame rate issues are my main gripe with this remake. Though not nearly as bad as the Link's Awakening remake, it does manifest when running through some towns, causing judder that's very obnoxious. Additionally, the platforming for the original game is here, and it still sucks in an isometric view, particularly those final challenges in Bowser's Castle. And lastly, Mario RPG was already pretty dang easy, and the new quality of life improvements just make the game even easier, and that's not counting the actual baby mode you can turn on, which I imagine must be designed for toddlers. I wouldn't have minded a harder difficulty mode. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale: must play, maybe consider, and don't bother. And Mario RPG Remake is a shining star of a remaster, taking a charming and beloved game and giving it the treatment it deserves. From the music to the visuals to the story, everything here has been upgraded with such great care, taking a masterpiece of an RPG and preserving everything that made it such. If you have a Switch, you should be playing Super Mario RPG. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Have you played the original Super Mario RPG? Are you going to check this remake out? Make sure to check out that retro review, hint hint, but let me know in the comments regardless, and then go out there and make sure you play Super Mario RPG.